What's up, big ass niggas? This your boy J Miles, and I am back with another video. And you know what to do. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share with your ugly ass friends. On today's video, we will be covering Power, Book 3, Breeze and Kanan, and this one right here is titled Breeze and Kanan Finally Meets. That's right, my good ugly ass friends. The long-awaited meeting between Breeze and Unique might happen this coming episode in less than 24 hours, ugly ass niggas. We just might get the reveal of your boy Breeze. Because judging by what we got in this synopsis, the name of the episode, and the episode 9 trailer, the combination of that and the term of events that has currently been taking place is looking like it just might unfold that way. So I will be covering the possibility of that and a little more in this particular video. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video. Now, we're going to start this thing off with the episode 9 synopsis, ugly ass niggas. Now, the name of that title is incorrect, apparently. The actual name of it is Peekaboo. Now, if you're familiar with the term Peekaboo, we all know it is kind of something that it's almost like a game that you play with a child. You know, you cover your face, and then you unveil it and say Peekaboo, right? So, how can we imply that particular title to this particular episode? Well, when you're playing peekaboo, basically you never really covered yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like you cover your face, then you reveal it, but you practically were teared the entire time. So I'm kind of wondering, is it possible that they're telling us we've been playing with you guys the entire time and that Breeze has been here the entire time? That's right, my good ugly friends. You already know where I am going with this particular video. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and take a read at it. It says, Kanan, suspicious of Rock's involvement, investigates Crystal's disappearance. Rock faces fallout from Unique's retaliation, and Marvin's mistake. Jukebox revisits her past, and Lou embraces his new high. Now, the part that we're really going to be focused on is the suspicious. We're going to kind of touch on, Kanan being suspicious of Rock's involvement of the investigation of Crystal. Of her being missing. We all know what really happened to her, but he's going to be blaming Rock like he typically does. Then, of course, the fallout that Rock's going to be facing with Unique's retaliation. So let's go ahead and get into that and find out what could be that retaliation that Unique is going to be given to her. So, as we know, Unique made a play at Snap and Pop, right? Towards the end of last episode, he basically tried to make a deal with them to basically have them help him shut out Rock, and then they come together and become a ultimate alliance. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out there. I do think ultimately he will succeed at this, and I think it is a possibility that this here could be Kanan and Unique. Not exactly sure, but it very much could be. And I always felt like when Unique and Kanan's, alliance happens, it will be Snap and Pop who will bring them together. I always felt that way. And of course, judging by the episode 9 trailer, we do know that they will indeed finally meet this episode. Now, why is that so important? The reason is, despite what a lot of people try to give me pushback about this when I say this, the actual facts are Kanan and Unique has never had a scene on screen together. And what I mean by a scene, they have never shared dialogue with each other. Meaning, what's up, Kanan? What's up, Unique? or saying anything at all to each other. They haven't had it. The closest we got was season 2, episode 10, when Kanan was arriving with Detective Howard to Rock's place, and Rock and Unique was walking out. That's the closest we got to them having any sort of a scene together. But as far as them actually acknowledging each other, it never happened until now. So, but one thing I want to point out, people, is I want to point out that it looked like when we did get that in the episode 9 trailer, Kanan was very confused. But I'm going to come back to that and explain a little thoroughly more of what I mean by Kanan being confused when basically this scene here. As we know, Uniquely, it's like he opens the door and Kanan is at the door and he says, Kanan mother effing start. Welcome, my brother. Right? So it almost as if, and matter of fact, I can go ahead and just share. I'm just going to share it really fast. Take a look at it.
Kanan fucking start. Welcome, my brother.
Right? You see that? Now let's take a look at it one more time. I want y'all to really pay attention to what I'm saying.
Kanan fucking start. Welcome, my brother.
So, if you look at Kanan's eyes, he's confused. He's looking around. He's like, what is going on here? Unique. What the hell is this? Almost as if somebody ambushed him into meeting him. It's like he said, hey, and my guess is that Snap set up a situation where he's going to be meeting Unique, but without knowing. I can see them possibly saying, hey, there's someone we'll like you to meet. He's behind that door, right? And Kanan goes through to meet him and finds out that it's none other than, and in my opinion, I think Unique is going to make a pitch to him, but he's not going to quite be up to it until later on. He's going to find out potentially that maybe Crystal is missing. You know, he's going to find out that she never made it to her destination, and now he's going to be very suspicious of a lot of people. Now, we've been hearing a lot of rumors that, you know, the image where we see Kanan beating up what looks like to be a janitor, and that is next episode, that a lot of people are speculating that that is Crystal's stepfather, the one that she said used to touch him. He probably went and beat him up, kind of maybe even on some Tommy Egan shit, like when he found that he just randomly went and found Holly's uncle and beat her up and beat the hell out of him with a bat. So we could see the same situation with Kanan here. But also what I wanted to point out here is that you see Juke is here while he's speaking. I think he's going to find out Crystal is missing and he's going to blame it on Rock, and Juke is absolutely going to disagree with him, because I think Juke is going to be doing her own research and she's going to be getting closer and closer to connecting the dots. But Kanan, you know, just like what Crystal told him earlier last episode, when he's got such a bad relationship with his mother that he just blames her for everything without really just thinking clearly. So I think the scene where he's like, well, in fact, I am positive, the scene where he says, if you're not with me, you against me, he's gonna share that here, and he's talking to Juke. And like I said, I think they're just gonna have a heated exchange, but no actual blows will be thrown here. Juke probably will just end up leaving, and later on, maybe even meeting up again, which I think will happen, and that's how we get this thing. But what I believe is gonna happen is she's gonna ambush him too. So Kanan is gonna be getting ambushed twice this episode, I believe. That's my prediction. Kanan is gonna initially think it's just gonna be him and Juke meeting, and then later on, Rock is gonna also come up to the table. And as you can kind of see a little bit from this exclusive photo here, Kanan looks very uncomfortable, almost as if he didn't expect to see it. That's just my opinion from what I'm seeing here. And I think it's possible she may have even, told Rock that Kanan is suspicious of her for the death of Crystal and Famous. And Rock is coming to set the record straight to let him know she didn't have anything to do with that. But of course, Kanan isn't going to believe her. It's like the boy who cried wolf situation, like I've been constantly saying on this channel. But also, lastly, before I get out here, I also want to say that keep in mind that Crystal did stop by to talk with Rock before she left to get on her bus. So it's sad that if anybody noticed that, or if anyone have that information at all, that Crystal went to pay a visit to Rock before leaving town, it's going to look just that much worse for Rock that she could be behind the death of Crystal, or not necessarily the death, but the disappearance of Crystal. And it's gonna make Kanan feel like she's behind it even more than even more, even though he ultimately doesn't. She ultimately doesn't have anything to do with it. So what's gonna happen here is like after all of that information, I think we could get this. This actually could turn out to be episode 10 here. Like I think towards the end, you can see Kanan possibly agreeing to maybe, or possibly having thoughts to go to join up with Unique, and but we won't actually see it until the finale. Or it could all happen here, this episode. But reason why I'm thinking that because episode 9s normally be big episodes. We all know that historically, through the Power Universe, episode 9s do be big episodes. And also, after Kanan feels like Juke betrayed him, and of course he never did trust his mom. Not sure where he's gonna stand with Marvin and Lou. Obviously him and Lou always had a good relationship, but I can kind of see a point where he might decide he just wants to not deal with his family at all and go on his own path. And then that will give Unique the leeway he needs to gain control over him. And like I've said before, and I'm gonna say it again, Unique is gonna keep it real with him, which is what he always wanted, very similar to Tariq when he met Kanan. He ended up liking Kanan's a lot because Kanan saw him for who he was and what he wanted to be. And for the most part, he kept it real with him. The only thing he really lied to him about was saying that Kanan was dead and that he was slammed. But outside of that, for the most part, Kanan kept it real with him. And I think Unique is going to do the same. And that's what's going to really ultimately, form their bond. And before I get out here for the ugly ass thing, because it's getting ready to say, Unique can't be Breeze because why would he change his name? Because the ugly ass niggas say that all the time. Keep in mind, remember with Ghost, I want to use Ghost as an example for this. If you pay attention in the original Power, people, Ghost basically had 3 names, people. Jamie, James, and Ghost, right? The only people who called him Ghost were people who were close to him, which was Tasha, Tommy, Julio, Ruiz, and Rolla, and Annabelle. Everybody else didn't know him as Ghost. They heard of Ghost, right? A lot of people knew James St. Patrick, but they didn't know who Ghost was. Even the feds, like Angela. She was around Ghost the entire time, but never knew. She just kept hearing about him until later on, it was revealed. And guess what? It was revealed on an episode 9 titled Time's Up. Season 2, episode 9, Time's Up. The same episode, Sean was killed. Ghost was revealed to Angela. So, could it be also this episode 9 we get a major body, which may turn out to be Marvin getting killed, and Unique is revealed as Breeze. But the only ones know it is the people very close to him, making Kanan the face of the streets later on. And I'm not saying all of this is going to happen this particular episode, but I think the end game will ultimately be Kanan being the face of the streets, but he's going to be facing, the people actually know, like who they get their product from. He's going to be the distro, but the one that's actually in charge, the connect, will be Unique, aka Breeze. But see, one last thing, if you remember, last episode, Detective Garcia told Unique, you should have stayed on that vacation. And Unique agreed with him and said, what did he say? That you right, or something like that. Basically, he agreed with him. And keep in mind, early Tyler told him to stay invisible the entire time, but he just had to go back to being flashy. He just had to do it. He couldn't stay hidden. So I think he's gonna figure out that early Tyler was right and go back to hiding. So once outside of Rock and them organization, people knowing that he's still alive, he's probably gonna go back to hiding. And who knows, maybe he'll just start something else. He'll still be walking around as Unique, but Breeze is going to be who folks are going to be hearing about. But they're not going to know that Breeze and Unique is the same person. Just like people didn't know that James and Ghost were the same person. So that could be how this ended up playing out, people. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all for this particular video. Definitely let me know what y'all thinking up in here. Could you possibly see this particular episode being the episode where Unique is confirmed as Breeze? And could you, if so, let me know in the comments exactly how you could see this thing playing out. And if not, for the people that doesn't believe it's him, feel free to share your opinion on why you think it isn't. No hard feelings here. I think there is a high probability, but I'm still open that it could be a couple of other candidates as well. I've already shared it with you guys on this channel. I even think, even though I know a lot of people saying it can't be because he's from Jersey, but I think Biggie does have a chance at it. Not saying that I'm believing that and saying that it is him, but I think he has a shot at it. And of course, an even higher percentage, of course, D-Wiz's brother also has a strong possibility as well. But anyways, though, definitely let me know what y'all think about this particular theory up in the comments. But that's all I got for y'all as far as this particular video. Like I said, so like usual, if you're cool with me, fool with me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment, let me know what you're thinking. But most importantly, make sure you share it with your glad friends. But until the next video, I'm out.